As a lifelong whitetail hunter, I've spent thousands of hours studying whitetails, both in the field and by absorbing every bit of knowledge I can from friends and experts. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's that no single hunter can ever unravel all the mysteries of white-tailed deer.
As an avid whitetail hunter, one thing I know for certain, and that is whitetail hunters like to hunt the rut. But unfortunately, where most of us live, that magical time of the year might last 1, 2, possibly 3 weeks. And a lot of hunters that think about Alabama may still think of kind of the old days of Alabama. You know, the buck a day. As more and more hunters got interested in quality deer management, trying to improve buck age structure, they realized that allowing hunters to hunt and harvest a buck every single day of the season really didn't make sense. So a little over 10 years ago, they changed that now. They have a 3 buck per hunter limit. It really has taken giant leaps forward. It's become a real player in southern deer management.
Here I am, it's late January, southwestern Alabama. The whitetail rut is in full swing, which, coming from the Midwest, it's pretty difficult to believe that, normally this time of year I'm starting to think about turkey season, but these bucks down here are just really starting to get going. Where we're at here, we're on this green field surrounded by a pine plantation. We were able to drive right up to this box blind. It's very comfortable. Just gonna stick it out, see what happens, and enjoy the experience. Like most whitetail hunters, as the autumn leaves begin to drop, I anxiously await the main event of deer season, the rut. Throughout much of the country, including my home ground in the Midwest, this coveted event is typically reserved for a small window of time in November. So when I discovered there were rut hunting opportunities that run all the way into February, I had to see for myself. It just so happens I had the perfect place among the perfect company where I could experience the last rut. Checking your zero is just always a good thing because it gives you that extra little boost of confidence going into your next hunt. In this case, I'm running the CZ 557 Eclipse rifle with an Aimpoint Micro H2 on top. In the case that you've never hunted with a red dot, I can tell you right now that you would not believe the accuracy you can get out to that 200-yard mark. You can really punch cloverleaf groups even without magnified optics, and you get that benefit of fast target acquisition. You're going to be able to have a lot of situational awareness. You can shoot with both eyes open. And because of all those factors, it also really aids in your ability to shoot in low light. In this case, I'm loading some Federal Terminal Ascent in that rifle. And what I love about that round is I hunt all over the country. I hunt big game ranging from antelope up to elk. And on all these hunts, you need a bullet that's going to perform at all practical distances. Terminal Ascent was designed specifically for that purpose. You're going to be able to hunt all practical hunting distances and you're going to get reliable expansion. So you're going to have short blood trails. You're going to have animals that usually drop quickly, and that's everything that you need in a versatile hunting bullet. So hopefully I'll be able to send one tonight.
As a biologist, Alabama can be a deer management nightmare. As a hunter, it can be the biggest panacea in the whitetail world because unlike most states, you can hunt the whitetail rut in November, December, January, and February, depending on where you want to hunt within the state. The reason that is because from the 20s to maybe even the early 70s, Alabama had an extensive whitetail deer restocking program. In the early days of the restocking program, we had Fred T. Stimson Sanctuary, where the state actually trapped deer and relocated them to other parts of the state. We also had deer come in from Ohio, Texas, Michigan, North Carolina, several other states that were brought in to stock certain portions of Alabama. And to this day, where those Michigan deer were stocked, those deer rut just like they're in Michigan.
It's just frustrating with this cold front. You would have thought there would have been some movement this morning. You would have thought there at least would have been some does out feeding on this food plot. That wasn't the case. This is whitetail hunting. This is real stuff, and that's just the way it goes sometimes. So we have a great guide here at the Pushmataha plantation. His name is Jacob, and he recommended that we get down somewhere around 8 o'clock and go look over the next ridge. He said there's a deep hole over there down in this little dip. And he said oftentimes deer will cross through there, especially during the rut. So spot and stalk deer hunting in Alabama, that's not necessarily the first thing you think of. but it's right up my alley. It's what I spend a lot of my time on, hunting out west. So we're gonna waltz on up there, see what we can see. And it's a low odds opportunity, but you gotta make your luck in these types of situations, and that's what we're gonna try to do. Hey, come here, get over here. There's a buck, there's a buck. Ready? You want him? Yes! Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We got out of our blind. We stalked up to this other spot over the next ridge. And I can't believe it, I just shot an Alabama buck, spot and stalk. The value of any memorable hunt is measured in the entire experience. Being able to spot and stalk an Alabama buck was an experience I'll never forget. The state of Alabama has done a tremendous job of designing a deer management program that balances the cultivation of a healthy deer herd with hunter opportunity, while also growing those upper age class bucks that legends are made of.
The males are pretty much ready 4 to 5 months out of the year. So the female, she dictates when the breeding will take place. So those does that are genetically programmed to rut like Michigan deer, that's when they come into estrus. Down here in South Alabama, these deer over eons are genetically programmed to rut late. You could take a buck from Michigan and drop him in South Alabama. He doesn't care whether it's November, December, or January, or early February. If a doe comes in heat, he's gonna be there. Same way you take one of our does from South Alabama, put her in Michigan, if the cold doesn't kill her, genetically she is still going to come into estrus the end of January and 1st of February. And those bucks that hadn't cast their antlers, they're still there. They're still viable, breeding will still take place.
So it's the final evening of this hunt, and a couple of different things have changed. So we're gonna change things up ourselves. First of all, the weather's gotten a lot better for rut activity. Second of all, some new blood has rolled into camp. We're hoping that Leo can get on a buck this evening. I think maybe just switching things up a little bit might throw those deer off and we might get a chance.
Alabama has been an extremely good partner in conservation with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. The promotion of hunting and bringing more hunters into conservation and into hunting itself is one of the entry points for doing more land management, land conservation, and we get people to enjoy nature and connect with nature. Working with the state of Alabama, we've been able to open more lands for hunting, not only in the wildlife management areas that the state manages, but also in our 11 National Wildlife Refuge in the state of Alabama. We just acquired and protected a large piece of land in the Red Hills area in Alabama. We protected that using some endangered species money, where we targeted the Red Hills salamander, a teeny tiny salamander that is unique to Alabama. What is good about it is that those areas that we protected for that small salamander is also open for hunting, and it's been managed as a wildlife management area. Now we have conservation of species and hunting. That's how we are able to connect people with nature. That way we get more hunters connecting with nature. That way we bring more people to get to know those habitats and care about them. So whatever we do for a small salamander is also really good for whitetail deer. The U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service would like to say thank you to the awesome team here in Alabama for the great partnership and great accomplishments. This is the first night hunting in this property. Chuck has done a really good job managing the deer herd. Really good bucks, really good quality habitat, not only for deer, but many other species. buck, bottom buck. Oh, there's a buck over there. Oh, maybe I shoot her. Oh, I think it's TD. Oh, yep, that's him. Look at that antler right there. Okay, yep, perfect. I'm gonna shoot it. That's a good shot there. Are you ready? I'm gonna take it. Going down. Yeah, he's down.
I took advantage of my opportunity to take my first Alabama buck, a 2-year-old deer with stained tarsal glands and a frame full of tender venison. The doors on this hunt were closing quickly, but I'd still get my chance to share in the glory of seeing a mature buck up close.